yoga. I do hope that you will join me too. Today's yoga, I'm doing this 30-day yoga Pilates challenge, and today is day 20 of the challenge. This is going to be a 10-minute workout that's focused on lower body, I believe. So I don't know if it's lower body strength, lower body stretching, lower body balance, but we will see with what yoga with Cassandra brings us today. Before I jump into that practice, I'll do my normal warm up, which is a handstand, a back bend, and a headstand as well. But before I get started with that, I will let you know that, part of the reason that I do yoga all the time is it just helps you in so many different ways. From a physical standpoint, it helps build strength, flexibility, stability. So that's good. But then also from an emotional standpoint or a mental health standpoint, it helps to clear your minds, allows you to focus and practice on mindfulness, being in the moment. It helps you to be intentional about being thoughtful and grateful and kind of putting to the side all of the things that don't serve you and kind of just focusing on the good. So that has really helped just from an overall wellness standpoint, especially from a mental health standpoint. I'm all about, let me do the things that are going to give me and promote peace of mind so that I can stay in my right mind, so that I can have balance in my life, so that I put myself in a position where I'm not going to get overwhelmed by the stresses that come along with life. And the stresses and the storms and the challenges, they will come, they do come. Right now I'm trying to sort out, how am I feeling? Right now I am tired. I have this dull headache. I have a lot that's going on in life, not necessarily with me personally, but I have a lot going on with my parents. They both have health challenges, physical health challenges, and I'm going to say mental health challenges as well. My dad had 3 strokes this summer, and the last stroke that he had left him with cognitive deficits. And if he gets like any type of bladder infection or anything, that actually diminishes his cognitive abilities, which is really a mental health thing. So, we have to deal with, making sure that we're taking care of his health so he doesn't get these infections, because when he does get these infections, he's got mental health challenges and he gets moody and paranoid and agitated and can be unkind. And that is, becomes a challenge. Because of these cognitive deficits, he requires a lot of assistance and supervision, 24/7. Like, you can't ever leave him alone. It's kind of like having like a 2-year-old, right? Where they can walk and they can talk, they can move around, they kind of got a mind of their own, they can do what they want to do, but you have to pay close attention to safeguard them so they don't walk out the door and walk across the street and risk being hit by a car or falling down, that type of thing. And so my father doesn't necessarily do all those those things, but because of his stroke, he's not as strong. He can walk, without something, but he's not as steady on he's not that steady on his feet. And so if he were to get up and go somewhere and not have his walker, there's a risk that he might fall. And, when you're much older, um, and you have a fall, you've got a lot of risk associated with that because it could create major problem. Like you could break something. You could die from a fall when you are 88 years old. So, so somebody always has to be there. And he goes to different therapies. They've been trying to figure out, why did he have these strokes in the first place? Because he had a stroke in 2020 was from a blood clot, and he's been on blood thinners this whole entire time. And so the blood thinners, you go on them so that you won't have a stroke. So they've been trying to figure out, what's the cause. And they're like, well, maybe it's a problem with his heart. He's got AFib. Maybe AFib did it. Maybe he's got a blood disorder. So, maybe the blood disorder caused his blood to coagulate and, throw off all of these blood clots. Maybe it's cancer that did it, so we've been trying to figure that stuff out and just got the answer on it the day before yesterday, and it turns out that he does have some form of cancer, that's in his abdomen. Right now it's causing him to have, pancreatitis and proctitis, and, but it's not causing him any pain or anything, but because of his cognitive challenges and because of the weakening in his body from the stroke, he's not even eligible for it to be treated, because the things that you would have to do to determine what the treatment plan could be, those things would put him at too great a risk. So that's something we're dealing with. Also, my mother found out that she's got some type of cancer. She's got a mass that is, that's causing her problem. We found out of it because it was like cutting off. It was, I think it's a mass. It's kind of like the size of a tangerine that was pressing on her ureter, which is the little tube that connects your kidney to your bladder, and it was cutting off the flow and causing her kidney to be inflamed. And for urine to back up into the kidney, it's just excruciatingly painful. And so she had to have a procedure to put a stent in, and while the stent relieved the pain and improved the flow and allows the kidney to heal, it's still very uncomfortable. So she has been in lesser amount of pain, but pain nonetheless, since September 2nd when she got the stent put in. But we talked to the oncologist yesterday, and she's gonna do chemo. And so she's 85 years old and getting ready to do chemotherapy. And if you've never done, I've never had cancer. I've never had cancer. I've never been around somebody that's had to have chemotherapy, so I don't know. So you can only just go by what it is that you see on TV, right? But having both of them with cancer and understanding what it could do to both of them, that's a storm in itself, and it puts a lot of pressure, obviously, on my mother, but for the folks that are taking care of them, which would be me and my brother and my sister-in-law, there's a pretty good chance that the load that we're carrying now may be intensified. It will definitely be intensified. So it's it's just more important than ever for me to do things intentionally to stay in balance so I can be, calm, cool, and collected, have peace, making sure that I'm being intentional about not putting too much of a heavy load on myself, taking breaks, just really doing things to promote my overall wellness while I am in support of my family. And so I really do appreciate things like yoga because the practice of yoga just helps to relieve your mind like immediately. So it's great. So with that said, thanks for listening to that very long winded story. If you are a praying person, I ask that you pray for my mother, that you pray for my father, and that you pray for me and the other people that will be supporting them through this healthcare journey that they're on, and pray that their quality of life is not negatively impacted, for sure for my dad, and that the treatment for my mother is successful, and then hopefully she will quickly shrink this tumor because it can't be resected, and because the tumor has to go away before she can remove this stent. So we're hoping that within the next 3 months, we'll have this resolved for her so that she can get this stent out, and her pain can go away, and her happy life can be refound, because she has pretty much been, for the most part, in the bed, since September 2nd, because she just doesn't feel good. So prayers are definitely welcome. So with that said, let's go on ahead and jump into this practice and get started. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you in advance for your prayers. We do believe in Jesus. We believe in his healing power. We believe that God has blessed us and that there is power in prayer. And the more people that are praying for us, the more that God will shower down blessings upon us. So thank you in advance. That said, let me go on ahead and stop talking and get on to the yoga. Like this will be, I'll do this little warm up. It should take me probably 3 minutes or so, and then we'll jump into the yoga.
Good morning. Today's a big day. This is day 20. You are officially 2/3 of the way done with this challenge. Pat yourself on the back. It's a huge accomplishment. A lot of people drop off by now, so it's really wonderful that you've stuck around, and I hope you'll stick around for the final 10 days. We're really in the home stretch now, and I hope you've been enjoying it so far. It's been really fun for me to put these classes together. So today's short morning class is focusing on our lower body. So a big emphasis on our legs. We are going to start lying down on our backs with reclined pigeon pose. So lowering your way down, you can cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee and really find an external hip rotation here. So I'm pressing my right knee and thigh away. I'm reaching out with my hands and drawing that left thigh in towards me. Relax head and shoulders on the mat. Make this kind of passive. I like to sometimes just rock a little bit side to side. It can change the sensation of the pose, where you feel it in your right hip. And breathing in and out through the nose, sending that breath all the way down to your lower belly. So a nice mix of flexibility and strength today. A little bit of balance as well. Give it one last big squeeze. And you can keep the figure 4 shape in the legs, but just let your left foot come flat to the floor. Arms by your sides, maintain this external hip rotation. And we're going to do a single leg bridge pose, keeping our legs exactly as they are. So you're just pushing into that left foot to squeeze the hips and lift them up as high as they can go. Try not to let your right knee lift up to the sky. Really press it open. Both hips are at the same height. You can push a little bit through the back of your arms to get a bit more lift. Big inhale here. And exhale, slowly roll your way down, inch by inch, pulling the right knee in towards the chest and straighten that leg any amount. Just stretching through the hamstrings. I'm going to flex and point through my right foot. And you can bend and straighten through your right leg, just whatever feels good for the hamstrings. And doing scissors, you're going to lift head and shoulders off of the mat, keep a hold of that right leg, and extend that left leg to a diagonal here, hovering off of the mat. You're going to pull, pull, and switch. So pull, pull, switch. Pull, pull, switch. Really give yourself a stretch with this. Pull, pull. Last one. Pull, pull. Both knees in towards your belly. Relax head and shoulders to the mat. Let's find reclined pigeon on the second side. Left ankle over the top of your right knee. Press that left thigh away from you, even as you reach through with your arms, and draw the right thigh in towards your chest. You can hold on to the back of the hamstrings or the front of the shin. Maybe rock a little bit. So trying to find that balance between effort and ease. And keep the figure 4 shape, but just let your right foot come flat to the floor and keep pressing that left knee open, arms by your sides, lifting up into your bridge pose. So pressing, trying to keep those hips flat so they're not tilting one more than the other, and you're just pressing them up. You can use the help of your arms here to find a bit more lift, really working, pressing through that heel, strengthening through our right hamstrings and right glute. And roll down inch by inch into our hamstring stretch on the second side. So left leg extends up, and you can flex and point through your toes. And you can bend and stretch. Just whatever that right leg to a low diagonal, pull, pull, and switch the legs. Pull, 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 and switch, pull, pull, and switch. Last two, last one. Knees in towards your chest, relax head and shoulders to the mat, and we're gonna lift up so you can rock up the length of your spine, just for cat and cow, crossing at the ankles. Palms underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Spread the fingertips wide. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, tailbone up. Exhale, round and contract. Keep going here, flowing in and out. And one more cycle. And we'll come to downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward, past the shoulders, tuck your toes under, and lift your hips up. Stretch out, especially through your legs. This is a lower body focused class. So really see if you can press the heels down towards the mat. We're going to extend our right leg up towards the sky, bend your right knee, open up your hip, stepping into warrior one. Right foot between the hands at the top of the mat, and back foot is down at around a 45-degree angle, pressing and lifting ourselves up. As you bend into that front knee, send it directly over the second and third toe, left leg is straight, arms extend up, and you can keep your arms parallel here or maybe add a little back bend by pressing the hands together and gazing past our thumbs. So strong for the lower body, keep bending into that front knee. And we'll bring our hands to our hips, straighten that front leg, stepping up into tree pose, Vrikshasana. So the left foot is going to go somewhere along the inside of that right leg. And as much as we're pushing the foot into the leg, we're also pressing right back up against that foot. Hands can come to the heart. So stable through both hips, being careful not to dig our toes in the mat, and the arms can reach up overhead, lifting up a little bit taller. Focusing on something that is not moving. From here into Utkatasana, our chair pose, big toes together, heels apart. Send your weight back into your heels. Big inhale here, and exhale, fold all the way down, halfway lift, flat back. Plant your palms, step it back through plank, and lower all the way to your belly. Cobra as you inhale. Downward dog, exhale. We'll do the same sequence on the second side. So left leg stretches up, bend your knee, open up your hip, and find your warrior one. Left foot steps forward, back foot. You want your heel to be grounded on the floor, so I have my foot at around a 45-degree angle as I lift myself up. And I'm trying as much as possible to keep both my hip bones square to the front of the mat as I bend through that knee. We're reaching the arms up, either keeping the arms in parallel and staying here, or adding your back bend, palms together, lifting the gaze, deep bend into that front knee. Stretching out of our lower back. Let's bring our hands to our hips, Vrikshasana on the second side. So stepping up into your tree pose, you're going to be standing on that left leg. Bring the right foot wherever is appropriate, trying not to put any direct pressure on the kneecap. Keep pressing, so another external hip rotation, similar to what we were doing with reclined pigeon pose. Hands at the heart, and maybe growing the branches of your tree, extending the arms up overhead. Into chair pose, big toes together, heels apart. Rock your weight back into your heels. Lengthen out the lower back so it's not curving too much. and we fold forward, release. Halfway lift flat back. Our last flow here, plant the hands, step it back, and lower your way down into cobra. And we're gonna go to a wide-legged child's pose from here. So I'm gonna widen my knees, big toes together, and folding down. Five deep belly breaths here. And we'll walk our hands in. We'll come to take a seat. Setting our intention for the day with an affirmation. This one, I am capable and competent. I know my worth. I am capable and competent. I know my worth. Hands together at the heart. We chant together, breathe in deeply. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing day 20 with me. I really do appreciate your presence and your dedication to showing up and doing these classes with me. Yeah, it's a real honor to be your teacher. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy and commit to the final 10 classes in this challenge. I'll see you tomorrow.
Alrighty, day 20 in the books. We did it. I'll be back tomorrow for day 21. I hope you will join me. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for letting me purge. Sometimes when you have things weighing us down, like on our minds, just having a platform where you can share those things and release actually takes a lot of stress away. So if I compare how I was feeling at the beginning of this practice to now, I feel much better. Like my headache is completely gone. And I feel good and ready to start my day. So again, thank you for being here. You guys are fantastic. Have a very blessed day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.